We want to produce homes, a place that's very livable, very functional.
And for this development, I noticed that the facade paint, I think that's something that gives it a very unique facade.
All thanks to a good developer who's able to help a lot of property owners to actually make their first pot of gold.
After we launched, they announced a MRT station nearby.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Right. They have raised the bar.
Oh, yes.
A lot of catch up on the market.
I'm not just selling Koyo lah.
Hey guys, this is Bobby here.
And I'm Jeremy.
So welcome to our show today. So today we have a very, very special guest. And before I introduce him, Jeremy and myself, we have been talking to a few developer leaders in the industry.
That's right.
And they are either from a sales and marketing background, administrative, and some very strong operational background as well. But I have not spoken to someone who is from the architect background.
Hey, that's same as me.
So today's session is going to be amazing. Today our special guest is Mr. Leong. Okay, he's the GM of Hoi Hub Realty and also a qualified architect. But there's something very interesting about him. He's also a registered patent holder.
Wow.
And this patent, I tell you, when you start to understand, wow, this patent actually exists, you will understand why wherever Hoi Hub, there's a launch, you see there is a pent-up demand that people want to come into the showroom. Hi sir, how are you?
Hi.
Okay, welcome
Hi,
to Prognex.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Leong.
Please tell us your view. And I really think that whatever you're going to tell us is going to be very beneficial to all the audience right here. Okay, now question number one.
Yeah.
How did you make decision to come into the property development from an architect background?
I thought everyone wants to be a developer. No. No. I mean, jokes aside, I think it is a very natural progression. I think partly because there's always this yearning to go up the value chain. When you go up the value chain and become a developer, you expose yourself to not just breadth, but depth. When I say depth, I mean you get to get involved in the project much earlier, in the earlier phase.
That's right.
Of like site selection, unit mix decisions, and even product positioning. So you get to start way early in the process. And when I say breadth, I mean it allows somebody like me to get involved in something besides just designing, like marketing, and maybe even financial decisions in the whole scheme of things, the whole project. So it allows me to get involved in this much more arena in development. So that's why I think it's a very natural progression for me, for someone like me to want to join a developer firm.
Wow.
And also I think coming from an architect background, it gives me certain advantage in any decision that I have to make in the company. Somehow or other, as an architect, right, you have this idea of a product in the back of your mind, which is something quite valuable that maybe other discipline may lack in that aspect. Of course, I lack in other aspects, but in this case, it helps me in making certain decisions. Property development is a very physical and is a tangible and physical endeavor. So definitely having a physical product in the back of your mind helps you in all the decisions you make.
Right. Actually, I have to agree on this, Jeremy, because I remember the first briefing I had. It was the first time I met Wai Leong. I was sitting in front. Then I realized that how come the way he pitched is just different from most of the time.
Really?
Yeah. No. Because I was there, I was like, most of people will cover what they need to say. Okay, but for Wai Leong, that day I always remember, he covered quite in depth, even explained the rationale of that. Can even cover the technical part plus marketing side. So I was like, after that, I was telling Your Highness, one of our colleagues as well. I said that, 哇，这个是有点不一样. Okay, now I understand it.
That's right. For myself, my first experience with you was probably back at the Key Residences launch.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think that was something that was quite distinctive because for myself, I realized that there was something unique, which was the differentiated collections at Key Residences. In fact, I think I was one of the top taggers during the launch of that development. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Key Residences launch and how did that influence the way you designed following launches?
Okay, it's interesting you bring up Key Residences. It was actually the first project that I did after I joined Hoi Hub Realty.
I see.
So it's something very close to my heart. The key takeaways, I guess, from Key Residences are the first few weeks you see the big units, the 4 bidders and the penthouse fly off the shelf first. So it made us in the company, the team, realized there's certain gap in the market that exists. It's probably because of the location, proximity to exclusive landed houses,
That's
to
right.
nature, and it's a 999, almost the same as freehold. And when you push out something like that at a reasonable price, a lot of the big units fly off the shelf,
That's
which
right.
is counter to a lot of the conventional wisdom then, that
yes.
small units like two-bedder sell first. So it's something interesting that we saw. And of course, it affects certain decisions we make later on in other projects. The first day launch was not very phenomenal. It's at the standard then.
That's right. That's right.
It wasn't phenomenal. I think 20% odd. But having said that, you find that the sales are very consistent and it's consistently healthy throughout the length of the sales period. It allows certain things to happen along the way. For example, we see a lot of announcement along the way. For example, the Cross Island line
yes, that's
to
right.
come about and allow the price to gradually increase throughout the years, and still demand was quite healthy.
Yes.
What does it mean? It means that early mover, the first day buyers, actually
They have an
profited
advantage, yes.
a lot.
All thanks to a good developer who's able to help a lot of property owners to actually make their first pot of gold. Could you tell us more about Hoi Hub background as a developer in Singapore? Now, Jeremy, why I want to ask this question is because I've been selling property for close to 20 years.
Okay.
So normally when we pitch, hi, this is my developer. Oh, they are one of the best. Another person will say, hi, this is my developer. They are one of the best. So I got this when I was in I was in Terra Hill. Then I was telling him how is the profile of the developer and how good they are, especially on the layout. Then he was telling me, everybody tell me that developers, they are good. So that was like, okay, now, well, tell us a bit more about how Hoi Hub background as a developer in Singapore.
I have started off almost more than 40 years ago, so it's quite, it's almost as old as me.
Oops.
I have a few more years to go.
So it's 40 over years old.
Yes.
It started off doing small landed houses, but slowly we transitioned into doing boutique condominiums. And then I think one milestone came about in 1997. Yeah, 1997 we successfully tendered for our first GLS site in Woodlands. And then in 2007, another milestone happened. We JV with our longtime partner Sunway Development to develop one of the few DBSS in existence in Boon Keng. Hoi Hub Realty has developed 3 DBSS, Boon Keng, The Peak, and Yuan Ching. We have developed or are developing 7 ECs in total. I think one of the more famous one is 100 Pumps, which was sold out in 7 hours back in that days.
By the way, they just recently
Reaching MOP.
reaching MOP.
December this year.
Reaching, but even before MOP, there are some cases we saw.
The approved cases.
They profit quite a fair bit. It's really $600,000-700,000 for a 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom. Wow.
And
So
I
this
think
sounded-
it's also one of the cases when after we launched, they announced a MRT station nearby.
yes.
Oh,
right,
yes.
right.
That's
Next to it.
So they are very good in getting those
Spotting future
spotting future.
potential.
Like all the unpolished gem. It seems
Mm.
like they know the game.
That's right.
No. So I think coming back to Hoi Hub, this experience with DBSS and EC, it sort of inculcated in the culture of the company a certain discipline in designing and a certain discipline in looking at floor plans and some insights into what the general public in Singapore, what they want, what they like, and what they aspire to in condominiums. So I think in a way that helps us a lot in a lot of the things we do later on. We were actually quite active in the District 9, 10, 11 all these years as well. For example, we did Fort at Holland. We
that's
did
nice.
Killiney Residences, Sophia Hills, Whitley Residences, just to name a few. Later on, the more recent freehold projects, they are of a bigger scale, like key residences, which you mentioned, like the Continuum, and Terra Hill recently. These few freehold projects that received more attention in the industry and in the media. Suddenly people say that Hoi Hub has transitioned to doing luxury development, but Actually, it's not true. We have been doing that.
Has been always
all
consistent,
along.
always
Yes.
on and off. Yeah.
But of course, like I mentioned, the background, the strong background in DBSS and EC actually give us certain insights, USP, in any design that we do.
That's right.
Right.
I think particularly at this moment, with $1 million HDBs coming to the attention, to the forefront,
Yeah.
I think the peak at the Boon Keng, the peak
Mm.
at Toa Payoh, as well as the Boon Keng DBSS, these were one of the first developments that were the $1 million HDBs
Yes,
in
they
town.
are the first batch, I think.
That's right, that's right. So I think you guys are definitely paving the way.
Thank you. Along the way, we have also started to invest in hospitality
Oh.
in Singapore. We own 2 hotels in Singapore, Courtyard by Marriott and a 5-star hotel, the Andas.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nice.
That was designed by Andre Fu in Duo.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So we will continue to be active in the hospitality arena as well.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
That's amazing. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Andre Fu is one of the top names in hospitality design. Some of the projects that he has designed, I think if you look at hospitality in the region, some of the best places, best hotels in our area are in Hong Kong and Tokyo. And in Hong Kong, I think he designed the Upper House. He designed Shangri-La in Tokyo. And in Singapore, he's designed a Fullerton Bay Hotel as well as Andas. So each of these hotels, I think they are very upmarket. And I think for this developer, for Hoi Hub, to work together with Andre Fu, it really gives you insight to the kind of attention they pay to design. And I think that's something that is a continuous theme of this conversation.
Well, I think that also demonstrates confidence that he has to
Yeah.
choose his partner as well.
Now that we are coming back to Hoi Hub as a designer and a specifier of land, what are some of the attributes that Hoi Hub looks for when selecting land to bid for?
Everyone is the same location. The location we look for, firstly, connectivity. It has to be near connectivity, near transport nodes, things like that. Proximity to nature, so that at least in our small little island, we have somewhere to have a respite in our busy everyday life. That's very important. Green amenities, look near proximity to amenities. These are all essential ingredients in making a successful development. But I guess everyone can say that, right? This is-
No, actually not true. Because I mean I've heard before when they talk about buying land, GFA, maximum potential, how much can I build, and those whatever you just mentioned, you didn't even mention all this. You are mentioning things which is practical to a layman.
It's rather a no-brainer. It's quite logical. These are the key ingredient to the site. But having said that, it is also very important for us to find a secret sauce, an important attribute of the site we can uncover and we can add value to. Is like what you mentioned just now, a hidden gem, which we can uncover and polish and present to the market.
Right.
I think that is what value adding is about. If I give you a piece of land next to the biggest MRT station and the mall, anyone can do the same thing. So there's no value add. For example, we took the piece of land in Key Residences. I remember when the bidding for the land happened, there wasn't any bidder. Now it has turned into a very successful development for everyone involved. And we even add value to the area by building a public road to serve Sunset Way. So it's a win-win for everyone. I can name a lot, like Sophia Hill, we did the conservation for 3 historical buildings and turned the whole top of the hill into a very iconic development and quite successful as well. Terra Hill will be the next example. It's something that we can take and convert into a gem in the future that will benefit not just ourselves, but we also have to benefit the buyer, the owners, and the area.
I like what you say about, everybody can buy a land, a good land, example, but it's actually what you do with the land. Like if you talk about Key Residence, I brought my customer there as well. When they go there, the first impression is, hey, what location is this? They were just saying. But the minute they walk in, they see the model. Oh, it's a very big site, beautiful. And after they will start to look at the layouts. Now, my next question is the layout. Now, can you share with us some of the common factors that contributed towards a key success for Hoi Hub? Like example, everybody will talk about layout from Hoi Hub. And almost everybody. So could you share with us what are some of the major contribution to this success?
Us having a very strong foundation and work ethic, like I mentioned, a discipline in our design. We want to produce homes. And by that, I mean we want to produce a place that is very livable, very functional, and practical. I think the true litmus test is we always ask ourselves, is this place somewhere that you can see yourself living in? You want to live in. When you are young, just graduated, you can't live in a 5-bedder, right? You can't afford that. But can you see yourself living in the 2-bedder?
2+1.
Yeah, or 2+
that's the one,
study.
yeah.
Or after that, when you have attained a certain comfort level in your career, do you see yourself living in the 4-bedder or the 3-bedder, 4-bedder, or the 5-bedder? If the answer is yes, then there's a unit plan or a development that works. If you can't even convince your own self to stay there, then forget it. And you have to be honest with
Honest to
yourself.
yourself. It all really starts with an end in mind.
Yes,
End in
correct.
mind, knowing that this is going to be a home
Yeah.
for everybody, rather than just maybe a product.
You can see that all our units are, the planning are very squarish or rectangular. The rooms are properly sized, no Mickey Mouse rooms.
Oh yes.
Right? The living room is comfortable. The kitchen are big and functional with all the proper appliances. In fact, we are one of the first developers to use like Hans Grohe,
Ooh.
Duravi, and Bosch in the EC.
Whoa.
So we choose our appliances carefully. People are spending millions of dollars, probably the biggest purchase of their life, to buy a condo unit. You cannot design something that eventually they'll find the slightest fault with. I really don't like this, I really don't like, but somehow I bought this and I regret. So this is something that is really bad.
Yeah.
So I feel that is something that we have successfully done throughout the years. And I don't know whether you agree, like you mentioned, Hoi Hao is quite well known in the industry for having units that are really very workable.
Yes, workable units, yeah.
Yeah. And not just workable, we go into the details.
Yeah.
We try to put in a storeroom, even if there's a bomb shelter.
Yes.
Because we know most of the time the shelter is for helpers. So once your helper go in, where are you going to put your chairs and your vacuum cleaners and brooms and all that? So you need a space.
Yes.
So we even, in some of our latest, we provide
You
a storeroom.
I saw. I was like, what?
Storeroom in addition to the household shelter. And because we know household shelter sometimes is meant for the helper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Besides the heavy steel door, we even put in a louvered door
Yes.
on the inside so that the helper can have privacy as well as ventilation.
It's one of the few I've seen, or Hoi Hao
also
is the
common.
only one.
Only
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 one,
one, I
right?
think. Yes.
It's like, okay, for those who don't understand, let me explain. So we have a bomb shelter. So bomb shelter normally, okay, for me, I got helper. I got 2 helpers, by the way. So
Wow.
sometimes no choice. I really no choice when I was staying HDB. So I asked them, would you like to be inside? But now, you know what happened? No, you don't have those thick doors anymore. So you add on the...
We have the thick door.
No.
Yeah.
You add, what is the thing you add on?
PD door.
The
PD door.
That PD door is the brand name.
The
It's
brand
a
name.
louvered door.
A louvered door, yes. And if you see in the show, it's like a door. So meaning say, if you're going to convert that, if you need to, you don't really feel that's a bomb shelter. And check out the show flat. Wow, they make until that place can sell for 1 bedroom, I think.
有点夸张
A salesman coming out.
Okay, salesman.
The attention to detail and functionality and the enjoyment of a home actually extend beyond the unit. Because buying a condo is not like buying a BTO or HDB. It includes buying the common areas as well.
Yes.
Right? So we make sure our common facilities are also of a comparable size to the development. In many of our latest development, we provide many function rooms and even gourmet dining. In addition to a children playground that is set apart from the main clubhouse to be nearer to the playgrounds and the children pool.
That's right.
And so that they can have fun in another corner of the development. So these are all little attention to the details that we try to put in so that owners, when they move in, they can enjoy, besides just their unit, their overall landscaping and facility. And yeah, landscaping. We always work with some of the top landscape architects to produce beautiful landscaping. You think you are in a resort?
Yes, it is. Even the model.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that Hoi Hub, on top of what Wai has shared, they have raised the bar.
Oh yes.
A lot of catch up on the market.
I'm not just selling Goyo lah.
No. I think we can resonate what I say because
Yes.
both myself and Jeremy, we are practitioner, so we are on the ground and we see houses almost every single day.
My takeaway from what you've been sharing is Hoi Hub is about livability, it's about thoughtfulness in how space is designed, both inside and outside the house.
Yes.
Okay, so I think moving on to the next question, we talked a little bit about your pattern just now. Could you tell us a little bit about the pattern and how it relates to the work that you and Hoi Hub do?
This is something a bit personal. In a few years ago, I was involved in a startup called Attribute. In that startup, we actually created or we applied and got granted a patent for a method to evaluate floor plans using big data and a simple AI tool. So the whole idea is to empower the user, be it agents or buyers, to enable them to tell floor plans apart from each other and to be able to understand plans better, to find a good fit for their lifestyle. If you want to find a dining room that is big, and a kitchen that is good enough for big scale cooking, the app is supposed to be able to find one for you. How it helps in my present line of work, basically, this app was a crystallization of all the insights and experiences when I was working as an architect doing a lot of residential projects.
During our times when we compare floor plans,
Oh yes.
we actually photocopy on transparency.
And put on
Then we overlay.
overlays.
No joke, that's exactly what we do. So I didn't know about this. If I would know about this, right, it'll be okay. I need something 25 square meter and above plus a 9 square meter common room. My master bedroom has to be 15 square meter and above, blah, blah, blah. I think that'll be so fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can ask Prop Next to do one.
Okay. Mr. Ismail, if you're listening to this, we have something for you.
Can do as WITS project.
All right, so I hope you guys really enjoy the interview. So this is the part 1 of the interview, and stay tuned for the part 2 of interview with Wai Leong.
Yay.
Thank you.